Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This will be the second episode of reviewing the weekly free games off the Epic Games Store. This week there's actually two free games. The first one I posted a review for about 2 hours ago, which was Where the Water Tastes Like Wine. And this is the second game that came out this week for free on their store, and it's Railway Empire. So let's take a look at this one. So before I get into talking about the gameplay itself, I just want to say that I did not intend to play this game as long as I did. I got like an hour into it, and then I looked up and I was like 3 hours into it, and I had finished the whole first chapter of the game. And I was really tempted to start the next chapter, but I didn't because I needed to get this edited because I want to get it posted tonight. But with that being said, let's get into the game. So the game's super simple at its base. It's just build train stations, put rails between them, set up your routes, purchase a train, and let it just roll. The game gets more complicated though, as you have to move specific goods from place to place.
And now things are getting tricky as we have to deal with a logistical problem. As Norfolk should also enjoy fresh corn, there will soon be 2 trains traveling on the stretch of track between Omaha and Norfolk. Of course, this will then result in a conflict. Since trains cannot travel through each other, you'll need a side track between Omaha and Norfolk. This consists of 1 parallel track and 2 signals. First, create a side track. It needs to be at least long enough for a fully loaded train.
And as you just heard, it gets more complicated with more trains, with more stations. If you take a look at the bottom right hand corner of the screen, you can see all of the white dots on the mini-map, which are all stations. In between every station, there's farms and lumber mills and quarries and cattle and all sorts of different things that you'll see next time I zoom out. Those all have to be connected eventually. You can see how the more trains you get, the deeper into the game you get, the more complicated it can get with having to push trains here, trains there, and connect everything really efficiently with the rails. This is absolutely one of those games where you'll get out of it just as much as you put into it. If you want it to be a super simple game and you want to play it super casually, then you can do that. But if you want to micromanage all of your lines, and if you want to grow all of your cities huge by supplying them with everything that they want, then that's also something that you're very capable of doing in this game. Each city has its own supply and demand. They need raw materials from the farms and the cattle and lumber mills and everything else that's around out in the open world between the different stations.
Excellent. However, your trains won't necessarily use the sidetrack, as they generally always take the shortest route. For this reason, you also have to specify the direction of travel on each parallel track. Now open Building Construction mode and set up a signal in the highlighted area pointing in the direction of the switch. Trains will then be able to stop here when the single track is in use. Now make sure that the track can only be traveled in one direction. For this purpose, set the signal so that trains coming from the opposite direction cannot pass.
I struggled so hard with getting this 2-track system with the signals going so I could run 2 trains on the same track, or between the same cities at least. And that's another thing I wanted to highlight about the game is how well it does explaining all the different controls to you and how all the different buildings and all the different things that you need to know as you progress through the game. To jump ahead in game time a little bit, I wanted to show a little bit of an expanded out version of what I was working on. There are nice little articles the game gives you as you progress. When you build a certain number of stations, when you pass a certain amount of revenue, things like that, just updates on your train system. Here you're able to see those 3 stations on the bottom rail are all raw resources that are connecting up to the station on the left. It's just a quicker way to get those resources into the stations to get processed. Another really cool feature with the game is that you're able to zoom in on the train and kind of ride along with it through a couple different angles, which I'll show you now. While this game isn't visually stunning, as you could see from those camera angles, it's still way better than I was expecting this game to be. If I wasn't doing this review, I probably wouldn't have even given the game a second thought, and I probably wouldn't have downloaded it. So if you're on the fence about it and it's still free, absolutely get it. I'm not sure what the normal price of the game is. I can check if I can find the Epic Game Store. It is normally $30. And at $30, I would probably even still buy this game. I'm thinking about getting it for the Switch, as I feel like that's something I might play it on more than my computer, but I definitely see myself picking this game up again. That being said, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I try to post content Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that's all I have for you guys. So make sure that you check out this game, and thanks for watching the video.